What's up, everybody? What's going on watching this? Got some college football on. Texas Tech, Arizona State, waiting for the UFC post show to start. It's on Fox Sports 1, but college football's on until 12:30. So I have to wait to watch the post show. So, the prelims. Before the UFC 203 pay-per-view, the prelim fights, I saw maybe one or two of them. The final one I saw, and what I wanted to see, was a women's fight. Jessica I. She's from Cleveland. The pay-per-view's in Cleveland. So she got a great reaction. Was taking on Betch Kohea. Jessica I wanted her to win. I really wanted Jessica I to win. I believe she did win. I don't know why I can't remember, but I think she won by... Or no. She did not win. Betch Kohea won by unanimous decision, and that was the wrong decision. Very wrong. I thought Jessica I won that fight. And after the fight, stupid Betch Kohea started celebrating, dancing in the middle of the cage, in the middle of the octagon, dancing, disrespecting Cleveland, and just acting like an idiot, dancing around like she thought she won. And then she jumped up on her trainer's arms. It was stupid. I don't like Betch Kohea. I remember when she fought Ronda Rousey and she got destroyed really badly, and that was pretty damn awesome. I wanted Jessica I to win. She should have won, but she got screwed by the judges. So that is the last prelim fight before the pay-per-view. Now on to UFC 203. First fight was a women's fight. Kicked off the pay-per-view, Jessica Andrade taking on, I forget the other woman's name. It doesn't really matter. I had Jessica winning. On the pay-per-view, Jessica wins. I was happy to see her win. She looked pretty dominant, did Jessica Andrade. So, good win for Jessica. Next fight was, I believe, Faber against Rivera, I think, was the second fight of the night. So this fight, it was okay. It went all 3 rounds. Got some boos. Some of the action was kind of boring to me. It wasn't much action. It ends after 3 rounds. Unanimous decision. Rivera wins. He wins. Jimmy Rivera wins. Next fight was CM Punk against Mickey Gall. Or Gall. However you say the guy's name. It's Gall, Gall, I think it's Gall. Mickey Gall, CM Punk. We all know, everybody that followed wrestling for the last 10 years knows who CM Punk is. He was in WWE for 10 years, or 8 years, almost 10 years. He was signed in 2006. And he left in 2014, so he was there for 8 years. We all know he quit WWE because he was not happy. I also believe he was burned out and just miserable. Did not want to be there anymore, so good for him, he left. Started training. Been MMA training for over a year, maybe 2 years. He's been training a long time, getting ready for his UFC debut. It was delayed because I believe he injured his shoulder. I think he needed shoulder surgery or something. And then he started training again. Well, CM Punk had to wait about 6 weeks before he could train because he couldn't move his arm and stuff like that. So then he was supposed to make his UFC debut at UFC 200. That did not happen because he got a back injury. I believe he had bulging discs in his back or something. So then he needed a back surgery. So that delayed his debut again. So he didn't debut at UFC 200. Instead, UFC was desperate because John Jones was suspended, so they got Brock Lesnar to show up at UFC 200 and fight, and he won. Roids or no roids, he still won. Unless the Athletic Commission suspends his victory, I don't know if they did, and I don't really care if they did. Lesnar still got a big payday, even if he failed the test for steroids. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. All the fighters could be on steroids. I still wouldn't care. I mean, as long as they're not doing hard drugs. Doesn't matter to me. But I understand they have a drug policy. You're not supposed to do steroids. So Brock shouldn't have done them, but he did them. Who cares? Let's move on. So, CM Punk making his debut finally. Crowd was pretty hyped up when Cult of Personality hit and CM Punk came out to that theme music, his longtime WWE theme music. Before that, that was his Ring of Honor theme, was Cult of Personality. Anyways, he comes out, gets a pretty good reaction, pretty good pop. I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans were at this UFC pay-per-view. A lot of hardcore CM Punk fans probably went to this pay-per-view because they want to see Punk in person. You couldn't see the guy in person. Nobody's seen him in person at a live event since Royal Rumble 2014. And that's where he suffered a concussion, and I believe he had a giant bump on his back also. That was an infection. He needed to get it cut out after he left WWE, and the WWE doctor, according to CM Punk, kept refusing to cut it out and said it was nothing and just gave him Z-Packs, whatever. Back to the debut. CM Punk comes out. The guy looked ready. He looked motivated and looked ready to fight. The only problem is he had way less experience than Mickey. Mickey destroyed him. I want to see CM Punk win, but I did predict Mickey Gall, or Mickey Gall. I predicted he would win in the second round. He didn't win in the second round. He won in the first round. He really destroyed CM Punk. He owned him. He beat him like he was his bitch. He destroyed him. So, CM Punk, I mean, the minute I saw him get taken down on his back, I was like, this is not good. He's going to lose for sure. And I think Joe Rogan, the guy's an idiot, first off, because he's always bashing wrestling fans and can't believe how anybody could watch wrestling. Anyways, Joe Rogan's an idiot. He right away was saying, CM Punk, this is what happens. This is what happens when you're a white belt taking on an expert like Mickey Gall. So Joe Rogan, to me, sounded like he was very happy what was happening to CM Punk. Joe Rogan's an idiot. The guy doesn't like wrestling fans. But whatever. That has nothing to do with this review. Joe Rogan is just an idiot. He sounded happy that a guy with experience like Mickey Gall was destroying CM Punk. But then after the fight, during the interview, Joe Rogan, I guess, said he had a lot of respect for CM Punk and for stepping into the octagon and doing this and fulfilling a dream of his. So here's how the fight went. Mickey Gall just about immediately took down CM Punk, took him to the corner of the cage, up against the cage, took him down on his back. CM Punk was trying to get out of it. Mickey Gall went on the side of him, started drilling him with punches. I mean, really hard punches to the side of Punk's face. Punk was laying on his side, and then Punk got on his stomach. That was not a good idea, because Mickey started going for the choke. Rear naked choke, about to choke out Punk. Somehow, CM Punk broke out of the choke and didn't let Mickey get the choke on him. And then Punk did not last long after that. He only lasted about 2 minutes and 60 seconds. or 2 minutes, close to 2 minutes and I think 70 seconds is how long he lasted. Or maybe 3 minutes, something like that. The fight started at 5 minutes and it ended. The official end time was 2 minutes 14 seconds that CM Punk lost. So he got destroyed pretty quickly. He got beat badly. He got owned. I mean, he got used, owned. Mickey Gall basically carved him up, ate him, spit him out his throat, and destroyed him. Mickey Gall, pretty good fighter. But I thought CM Punk had a chance, a small little chance of taking this fight to the second round. That didn't happen. Mickey Gall destroyed CM Punk. Absolutely destroyed him, embarrassed him. But Punk should not be embarrassed. Fans of CM Punk should not be embarrassed how bad he was beaten. Because the guy trained for 2 years. He never ever had an MMA fight before. Never stepped in an octagon before in his life. He was really unexperienced. At least Brock Lesnar had one MMA fight before he went to UFC, and before UFC, Brock Lesnar won an NCAA championship in wrestling, amateur wrestling. Brock is an NCAA heavyweight champion. I believe he won it in the year 2000. So Brock had a big experience, huge advantage because he had wrestling on his side. And then he just had to train in a couple MMA disciplines. So Brock had 100 times more experience than CM Punk because he was an NCAA wrestling heavyweight champion. And Brock, I mean, look at the guy. With roids or no roids, Brock Lesnar is a freak of nature, one-of-a-kind athlete. We'll never see another guy built like Brock Lesnar ever. I don't think anybody will look like Brock Lesnar in any sport anytime soon. So CM Punk, fans of his, don't be too upset. The guy, I respect the hell out of him for trying, for stepping in the cage. It takes a lot of guts. I mean, he stepped in the cage and he fell flat on his face. Big deal. The guy just wanted to get in the cage and see what he could do and see if he could have any success. It's been a dream of his since since he was young. He wanted to try MMA, but he went into wrestling. Ever since he left wrestling, he wanted to go to UFC. He wanted to try MMA. He said it was a dream of his. Good for CM Punk that he got to live out his dream. His dream tonight kind of became a nightmare, in my opinion, but it's okay. All he has to do is go back to training. Maybe he should take some fights outside of UFC and some small MMA companies. I think he should take some smaller fights in small MMA companies before he comes back to UFC. I mean, he should have some, not amateur fights, I don't know what they call them, outside UFC. He should fight some guys that, have only one fight experience. He should fight them in training and see if he could win. CM Punk, the guys that he trained with are champions. Anthony Pettis, he trained with. So the guys that he trained with said CM Punk showed great heart, that he never quit during training, never gave up. Well, he didn't give up tonight until 2 minutes, 14 seconds. That's the official time. It ended pretty quickly. I was pretty not shocked or surprised because I picked Mickey, but I picked him to win in round 2. I don't know. I was kind of sad after he lost. I felt kind of bad for CM Punk, but I shouldn't feel bad for him. I'm sure he doesn't feel bad for himself. So, I'm sure he's disappointed, but he shouldn't be, because it was his first ever fight in the octagon. Anybody talking crap about him, hating on him, anybody, you try to step in the cage and fight for the first time ever, I guarantee you'll probably lose. If you're fighting someone like Gall, you would probably lose also. Your first fight ever, you would probably lose. So everybody, whoever's bashing CM Punk, I didn't bash the guy on Twitter. I was just making a few jokes about what Vince McMahon's reaction would be to the loss. A lot of gifs of Vince laughing about, I made a tweet, said CM Punk, this is Vince taking CM Punk's call after UFC, after his loss, and Vince is in the picture laughing. That's just a joke. That's just comedy. I wasn't bashing the guy. I respect CM Punk. I respect what he did, stepping in the cage, having the guts, having the heart to step in the cage in the UFC for the first time ever in his life. I mean, cut the guy some slack. If you stepped in a cage for the first time ever with the same amount of experience that CM Punk had, you would probably get your ass kicked too. So, Punk, I hope to see you again, but next time you come back to UFC to fight, I hope you have one or two smaller fights under your belt, because you shouldn't come back to UFC if you only are going to fight for your second time ever. If you fight in the UFC for the second time ever, you're probably going to get destroyed again. You need to fight in other small companies, at least one or two fights before you come back. That's what I think you should do. That's my opinion. But I respect the hell out of Punk. I was a big, huge fan of him as a wrestler. Then, of course, when he left, he pissed me off. But I'm over it. I respect Punk. And I hope to see him again in UFC. But selfishly, I would rather see him in wrestling again. In any other wrestling company, I'd rather see CM Punk in wrestling than in UFC. But that's just me. So, CM Punk loses to Gall in 2 minutes, 14 seconds in round number 1. On to the next fight, which was pretty lame. Travis Brownie, he got his finger injured or broken, or he injured his hand. The ref had to look at it and stop the fight. Looked like he injured his finger and hand. He wasn't the same the entire fight. Travis Brownie really did nothing the entire fight after he got his hand injured or finger injured. He really did nothing. So it goes to a unanimous decision. Travis Brownie, Brown, whatever his name is. I wanted him to win. I predicted he'd win. He loses. Unanimous decision. Travis Brownie loses. After it, he loses in unanimous decision 29-28, 29-27, 30-27. After it, his opponent that defeated Travis, he's talking in his post-fight interview in the cage, and he starts talking about, excuse me, crowd, excuse me for a minute, give me some silence. And I just want to talk about, he was talking about a friend of his that was killed. I didn't understand what he was talking about. All I heard is a friend of his was killed by somebody. I don't know if it was a drunk driver or what. I didn't understand what he was saying. But the crowd didn't care. They were probably drunk, and after he said all that and told the crowd to listen up, after he said all that, they just started booing him because they didn't want to hear that shit. Whatever he's saying, they didn't give a crap. So, whatever. Travis Brownie injured his finger. If he wanted to, he probably would have won. He loses unanimous decision. Now on to the main event of UFC 203. Overeem taking on Minoke. Or Manoke. I can't pronounce the guy's name. or Minoke or something like that. Anyways, Overeem, the guy was pathetic during this fight. In the beginning, he actually had a choke on Overeem had a choke on his opponent, but he broke out of it. And he had knocked him down once, I believe, but it didn't finish him. Overeem then started running. Overeem was running scared throughout the first round. It was pathetic. I'm not kidding, the guy was coming at him, his opponent. Overeem was running away from him. He was running. It was pathetic. It was a joke. So Overeem was running scared. He's laying on his back. And then he gets knocked out, KO'd. I mean, he was knocked out cold. He's laying on his back and he was getting drilled with really hard punches. And his head was up against the mat, smacking the mat. He was knocked out cold. Overeem loses in, I think, round number 1 or 2. Doesn't matter what round it was. He got knocked out by his opponent. His opponent, I believe, was from Cleveland. The crowd, or he maybe lived in Cleveland. I don't know if he was born there, but the crowd loved him. They were really cheering him like crazy after he won. And when he came out, they cheered him like crazy. They did not like Overeem. Nobody cheered him. I don't think anybody wanted him to win. I mean, I predicted he'd win. I wish I wouldn't have, but I did. Anyways, Overeem ran scared, was acting soft, and he lost when he was laying on his back, and then he got knocked the hell out. So, and then he tried getting up. He tried sitting up, and he was still knocked out because he fell back down. It was pretty funny. Pretty good UFC 203. After the CM Punk loss, I tweeted out, this pay-per-view is a mess, but the main event was good. I enjoyed it. The pay-per-view, UFC 203 rating 1 to 10. I give it a 7 or I give it a 8 for entertainment. I give it a rating of 8. Hope you enjoy my UFC 203 review. Watch my other MMA reviews and from the past, and watch my other playlists. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at TNAWWE Guy. Also at NXT WWE Guy. Hope you enjoyed UFC 203. Hopefully you saw CM Punk's fight. If you did not, order it, or if you couldn't see it, try to find the fight on YouTube. And maybe it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. I don't know who uploads the fights to YouTube, but somebody probably will. Hope you enjoyed this review. Have a great weekend tomorrow. For any wrestling fans watching this from Twitter that follow me, or wrestling fans from YouTube, I will be doing a Backlash, SmackDown's first ever pay-per-view, Backlash, tomorrow night. I will be doing a review for Backlash. I'm pretty tired. Time to go. I'm going to watch UFC post-show and then go to bed soon. Big day tomorrow. NFL Sunday. Go Pack, go. Go Packers. That's my team. And then after the Packers, Backlash will be on 1 or 2 hours later. Bye for now. Have a great weekend. Enjoy Backlash. Bye for now.